जी हाँ लिसनर्स, वेलकम बैक। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट हो चुका है सैटरडे ब्रंच नाज़िया अहमद के साथ, और इस प्रोग्राम में हम आपकी करवाते हैं मुलाकात, तमाम पहुंचाते हैं आप तक मालूमात जो बनती हैं सोर्स ऑफ मोटिवेशन, सोर्स ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन एंड सोर्स ऑफ पैशन। जी आज भी जो शख्स हमारे बीच मौजूद हैं ओवर द फोन, ही इज़ अ कंप्लीट इंस्टीट्यूशन। ही इज़ banker of bankers. He leads by example and easily be espoused as a living inspiration. Yes, a person who imparted the sense of discipline, determination, and value system within him. He rose from rank and file, and he has put forward his fondness for technology into banking. That's very correct. Yes, we are talking about a CA who holds a certificate in IT system, corporate management, and also a gold medalist in graduation. Yes, we are talking about a person who is a recipient of multiple doctorates from the leading universities. Yes, we are talking about a person who is CEO of the leading bank, Doha Bank, Dr. Seetharaman ji. Firstly, we on behalf of the entire team of FM 107 would like to extend a huge welcome to Dr. Seetharaman ji. Hello.
Hello, Nazia. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir? I really am I'm stammering to talk.
Let's
How are you doing? How are you doing, sir?
All well, all well. Let's make it much more interesting and exciting to the audience, and it should be purposeful. We'll add some value today.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. You are there on the phone, no doubt.
Oh, thank you.
Sir, first of all, you are a banker and you are a CEO and you are fond of technology. There are so many things I'm juggling to pick from where. But let me to start from your personal life, starting to know about your personal life and how you've been here, how long you've been here in Qatar.
Qatar, I spent 18 years. It's an interesting journey. Personal life, professional life are all integral as such in today's world. You as a person, you create values to society, to the shareholders, where you invest your time and energy and make sure that you are making sure you are adding value to families and friends. So it's a combination of personal and professional integrity and consciousness which makes you purposeful, and that's what exactly my life journey is all about.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, sir. So you have started been saying that you need to be always optimistic to
Absolutely.
all kind of approach. So
life is always interesting. Life is always exciting. Life itself is an opportunity. That's what we need to understand. If you understand this dynamics, every day is interesting. Every day is inspirational. Every day is motivational. Every day is purposeful. Every day is joyful, and you are.
Sir, I got to get the vibe of your strength, your success by knowing that you are a complete positive person. This is I got to know, but as we rightly know that life is always not bed of roses. Everybody has to juggle. Everybody has to, struggle. How often do you feel that you keep on pushing you towards the destitution, trying to find the mellow and the mate?
Well, life has to have challenges, isn't it? If everything is given, you don't have to aim for anything. Then you don't set your vision. You don't have a strategic goal. And that doesn't make it more exciting or inspirational. What makes it much more motivational is to get started with the inspiration where you draw from and then start motivating yourself, and your habit becomes. So you need right kind of thoughts. Your thought becomes action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes your character. Character becomes your destiny.
Wow, that sounds so great. So at times during the failures, we get to, kind of become very negative to minds, being very much with the pessimistic approach. So think how one can mold oneself to come out of all these things, the negativity.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you need to understand a positive attitude is what exactly interesting and exciting for you, and you energize yourself, and you also reflect your positivity across the people you interface, whether it is bank work or family or society. You have to be, positive and productive. It doesn't mean you have to be successful always. Success does not mean absence of failure. So if you have the positivity to recognize that everything is interesting, every day is a new day, and you will create values. Once you start creating value for yourself, incrementally you will see the positive energy. So you convert the negatives, if at all you have, negative pursuit, if you have to interface in your practice, it is normal. As long as the world exists, good and bad will exist. So essentially, converting the negatives into positive is your drive. That's a journey. That is a destiny.
Wow, that sounds great, sir. Do it all happen into feasible? It's like really too feasible in life?
It
It
is.
do? It
It
do
is.
works?
It is.
So your kind of mantra to keep yourself motivated, that one mantra.
Yes. So the nurturing the right kind of the attitude. That's what I'm saying. See, excellence is not one time. It's a habit.
It's a
So
habit.
if you have a lifestyle of positivity, you energize. That's what I'm saying. You are enthusiastic. You are interesting to people, and your self-esteem is of highest order. That's what matters when it comes to you. You have to be bold. You don't need to be timid. You can be humble. You don't need to be apologetic. You can be strong. You don't need to be rude. You can be confident. You don't need to be confused. It's all how you conceive your positivity within you, and your character will be shaping up based on those positive energy. And you are converting always the negative into positive. That's your journey. If
Wow,
at all
that
you come across,
sounds like great. I have taught these lessons within just 10 minutes, not 10 minutes even. So many good things you have taught, and we have started our program with such a positivity. Sir, there's always women behind a man success is always not a game of one's own nurturing of thoughts and thing. I
yeah.
believe that there's always a huge sort of team of people, and starting with your family. Who all been there in your family?
Well, my mother being my North Star, she is my inspiration. My
Uh-huh.
wife is my true life partner. My children who are blessings to me from God. So these four ladies have played a big role in my life journey. My parents are my role model, as I have to say. So
Wow.
it's parents. You are integrating the values through your parents, and once you accept your parents, this is the lesson I've learned when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when you're born that you are a value creation, and you know that you are not created, and you respect your first God, your mother, and then comes your father, then your teacher, then the respective religious God you belong to. If you have that synchronized, and integrated mind and heart, everything becomes interesting, and your vision is always long term. Once you have a long term vision, it's like the Oriental saying: if you aim at short term, you cultivate flowers. If you aim at medium term, you cultivate a tree. If you aim at long term, you build humanity, and you love people. Everything is people. The love,
Wow.
sheer love to integrate people and make sure the society comes first, and their happiness is your happiness. And if you start making others happy, your happiness is guaranteed.
Wow, that sounds pretty interesting and very much true that if you let people know that you are giving and spreading happiness, you yourself will ultimately get it. This is kind of a reciprocation, and to keep involving, sir. We are talking to you and we wanted to know, sir, you are such a personality. I'm sure there's gonna be 1 hour's gonna be not enough for us, for sure. But we'll start your journey by being knowing from how you started your persuasion towards CA, and then later on, how did you get yourself to be into this frame of banking system and CEO?
Let me start with the family background itself. That's what I'm saying. Nothing is a disadvantage for you. Having born into economically challenging circumstances, I thought education is a key for long-term development. That's what my parents also thought as much. So I used the education as a tool. I said I was living in a village where my father was a teacher. So
Uh-huh.
I said, no, I have to go for 10 kilometers from here and study the best school. That was my concerted vision. I understood at a young age, a long-term investment is nothing but education. That's the real wealth. The rest of all, you build it. Once you
Wow.
have the investments and the right kind of thought that you have to put in. So when I was
Uh-huh.
8th standard, I saw the challenge. So, and I said, I will study in the best school, which is 10 kilometers away. And necessity is the mother of all invention. I set the goal to achieve it. And I started building thereon. When I was 8, I was, I didn't have money to pay for my school or even the bus daily expenses. So
Oh.
I started teaching for 9th, 10th, 11th mathematics, and I earned, as a consideration, books and money. And then I started paying for my, school fees, and then I realized that I should start, approaching the headmaster and asking for a good hostel where meritorious students can be admitted. There was one. I heard about it. I went to the headmaster and I said, listen, I have to study. I'm coming from so and so. I belong to Tamil Nadu, a place called Mayavaram. My home was in 10 kilometers away. And I told that I'm coming from here. I can't afford 15, 20 rupees for the, bus. My father was earning just 75 rupees. So how can I afford when we are four, in the family? So the headmaster said, listen, you are doing very well. I'll get you into the best hostel, but you have to come first in the final exams as well. And that's how we started. And the interesting story is, the test as a part of your exams. In lifetime also you have many tests, and God creates such tests for you to be resilient. And as I said, my parents are role model. And I laid the foundation for self-governance, and the value creation is just our parents.
Wow, that's great.
What I thought, by integrating my knowledge, I can come through and achieve my ambitions. And as and when you achieve your ambitions, you lift your ambition to desired steps. And I got the national scholarship, and I was a meritorious student. And then I got into college. So there are plenty of challenges to educate myself. And not that my parents were depriving me, but I thought, why should I disturb them when I have the ability to, respond to the challenge? And that has been the driving force for me to be matured at a very young age. Then managing in the enterprise or corporate management was inbuilt. See, that's what.
These are those things which I can say have become a part of experience and then acceleration, right?
Yes, motivation and inspiration come from within. That's what matters. Once you start answering yourself, the inner voice, integrating your heart and mind, as long as you don't have conflict, Nazia, you don't need to, you will have harmony. There is a famous saying from Abdul Kalam, our past president, when there is righteousness in your heart, that matters. Empathy and sympathy are integral. When you understand that righteousness in your heart, there is beauty in your character. When there is beauty in your character, there is harmony within you. When there is harmony within you, there is order in the nation.
Wow, that sounds so beautiful.
There is peace in the world. That's what matters.
That's beautiful note.
Should be driven by heart.
You need to be motivated, and that motivation has to be consistent, right? Absolutely. And you have keep yourself motivated right from the hardships to the success now. Definitely. Mashallah, it's a beautiful journey and a beautiful hearing from you. ये conversation जारी रहेगी. बने रहिएगा आप हमारे साथ. मिलते हैं इस छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद. वेलकम बैक. प्रोग्राम जारी है सैटरडे ब्रंच नाज़िया अहमद के साथ FM 107 पे, और आज हमारे साथ पूरे इंस्टीट्यूशन है, और जिन्होंने बात ही स्टार्ट की, इतनी ज़्यादा मोटिवेशनल स्टार्ट हमें मिली, इतना अच्छा लगा. और हमारे साथ ओवर द फोन मौजूद हैं सर डॉक्टर सीतारमन जी. हेलो सर.
हेलो नाज़िया.
सर, हम इतने चार्ज्ड हो गए. इज इट ओके इफ आई स्पीक इन हिंदी एंड उर्दू?
प्लीज.
अच्छा सर, इतने चार्ज हो गए और हमारे लिसनर्स इतने ज़्यादा मोटिवेटेड हैं कि उन्हें ये लग रहा है कि सब कुछ पूछ लिया जाए सर से, कुछ भी ऐसा. अच्छा सर, होता ये है कि जो एक बैंक को या कंपनी को लीड कर रहा होता है, CEO होता है, ड्रीम होता है उससे बात करना, उससे जानना, तो उसकी लाइफ, अपनी लाइफ क्या हमें ऐसे साउंड करती है कि कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लाइफ होती है, बिजी लाइफ होती है, या ऐसा होता है उतनी बिजी नहीं होती, या आप भी हम लोग की तरह एकदम सिंपल रियलिस्टिक वे में जी रहे होते हैं? ऐसा भी होता है सर?
You don't mind me answering in English?
Really, please, no, not at all.
Inspiration is what is getting started from. I will start with what you said now. Inspiration is what is getting started. What keeps us in track is motivation. And habits make it more automatic. So, I love the word of Mahatma Gandhi. He always say, you have to recognize, you have to understand, if you are principle-centered, you can never fail. And that's what the motivation is all about. Greed, fear, and pressure is affecting our ethics in life.
Great.
If you understand this dynamics, then everything becomes more interesting. And if you don't have greed, you will design what you want. So everything will come to you. You don't need to hunt. So the minute, the purpose of life is to recognize that you have to be meaningful, adding value to one and all, everything becomes more inspirational. And
Wow.
let me quote the Gandhi's words:
Yes, yes.
knowledge without character, science without humanity, pleasure without consciousness, wealth without work, religion without sacrifice, politics without principle, you know,
These are
commerce
all
without
things.
morality. These are not, the right attributes. So we need to have the positivity by ignoring the negativity. So you have to be principle centered. If you understand these things which I mentioned,
Correct.
it will always be, uh, you know, come and go. But if you are principle centered, nothing can break. And if you're, it will motivate. Everything is motivational. Every day is inspirational, as I said. Every day is a new day. When you go to bed, you are transcending and you are giving your life to the eternity. And you just born next day morning, and you every day, I'm alive. That itself, if you realize it, then you will spend it productively. You will spend it positively, and you will make sure you create an environment which is absolutely meaningful. And that's what we need to do.
Wow, that's great. So, from you, I'm getting to know being very positive, to believe in your institutions, and to believe in your hardships. One
Yes,
needs to keep on going with the face with consistency, right?
yes,
So, now slowly we'll try to incline towards your profession.
yes,
So, most important skill to be a good economist,
yes.
starting with this.
Economists, see, you understand the world at large. Today, we are not location centric, we are information centric, we
Hmm.
are not product centric, we are consumer centric, anytime, anywhere centric. We live in an interconnected, interdependent world, one world. If you understand,
Hmm.
we live in one world, globalized world, and we are all global citizens. And
Hmm.
if you understand the dynamics of the purpose of the world is to make sure what you call the United Nations very well defined it now as a Millennium Development Goal to Sustainable Development Goal. Now it was defined as originally Millennium Development Goal, and now it is Sustainable Development Goal. What is Sustainable Development Goal? Elimination of extreme poverty. How do you bring in
Correct.
zero hunger, zero poverty? How do you bring in food security? We have to make sure the 7 billion people in this planet get their food security. We have to bring in gender equality. We have to make sure universal health care. We need to bring in universal education. We have to make sure maternal health is more important. If you understand global warming and climate change is a major factor. It's not economics, it is economics. If you understand these
Correct.
dynamics, then everything what you do, banking is a subset of it. That's my profession today.
Hmm.
But if you understand the global economics and then see where do you stand in terms of regional economics or the countries where you have economic linkage or where you operate like Qatar or uh, the Gulf or the subcontinent India, how or other countries, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, whatever it is, emerging markets, developed market versus developing markets. Once you understand that humanity comes in prospects, economics comes in. When economics comes in, you have to, then you have to go by the principle-centered values which I mentioned to you now. Then it's easy to interpret. So the economics plays a very vital role. What you need to know is, are you caring for humanity? It's not
Correct.
production, consumption, distribution, and exchange. Those are salient features of economics. That will come once you understand the bigger picture. So the macro is important.
Hmm.
The macro is important. Why do we understand the current context without understanding the bigger picture? Once you understand this is the world, these are the prime objectives, and this is the country, this is the continent, this is these are the salient features of underpinning economics. Everything becomes more measurable, manageable, controllable.
Very correct. So, as you rightly said, the attitude of modern workplace has changed drastically over the years. What current approach and CEO adopt to trigger the smooth functioning? You have to trigger, you have to deal with so many of the people. I think it's going to be easy enough.
Now, once you start loving people, this is what I'm saying. Uh, the passion comes in when it comes to even performance within the enterprise, right?
Uh
So
huh.
I run an enterprise today, or even my earlier assignments ever since I got into profession. I realize I'm a global citizen. I'm my passport apart. I love humanity. Once I start doing it, nothing becomes difficult. My job is to worship the poor, understand the circumstances, not to dig the past, but to set the course for the future. Where you come from, what you're born with, doesn't matter. You are in this planet, and you have to add value. And everyone is given, such choices. And the given set of time, you are on lease within this planet. And then once you realize that ignorance, inequality, is in this planet, and you have to necessarily understand and accept what you get it, and then make it perfect. If you aim that journey, everything becomes more interesting, and you will deal with any issues, whatever be the challenge. I have multinational community. Every part of the banking system today is truly global. Whether it is a Qatari bank or American bank. I'm operating today in 20 countries with over 100 nationalities. My key, team is, of different ethnicity, this different cultural background, with multiple disciplines. What you need is objectivity. The vision you set it, most important thing.
Wow, that's very beautiful. Set a vision with objectivity. That's very correct. प्रोग्राम जारी है सैटरडे ब्रंच नाज़िया अहमद के साथ. आप सुन रहे हैं FM 107 पे, नेशनल रेडियो स्टेशन पे. और साथ ही आज हमारे साथ जो गेस्ट हैं, उनसे इतनी सारी अच्छी अच्छी बातें हो रही हैं, और ये बातों का सिलसिला यूं ही जारी रहेगा. आप भी अब हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं 12 बजे के बाद. हमारे 2 नंबर्स हैं 44874 299. दूसरा नंबर है 44131280. जी, इसके अलावा आप हमारे साथ जुड़ सकते हैं हमारा फेसबुक पेज FM 107 कतर. वहाँ सैटरडे ब्रंच का स्टेटस, उसके नीचे जाके आप हमें मैसेजेस करें, और आपके मैसेजेस प्रोग्राम में आपके नाम के साथ शामिल होंगे. लिसनर, जैसा कि बहुत ही राइटली आज हमारे गेस्ट हमसे बात कर, उन्होंने कहा एन आई फॉर आई ओनली एंड्स अप मेकिंग द होल वर्ल्ड ब्लाइंड. इन अ जेंटल वे यू कैन शेक द वर्ल्ड बाय लविंग ह्यूमैनिटी ओवर हेट्रेड. सही बात है. दिस इज इट, एंड दिस दैट वन थिंग व्हिच कीप्स यू मोटिवेटेड एंड कीप्स यू गोइंग. विद दिस नोट, हेलो, वील बी अगेन इनटू कन्वर्सेशन विद डॉक्टर सीतारमन जी. हेलो सर. यस सर, सॉरी फॉर लेटिंग यू वेट फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम.
No, it's my pleasure. Please carry on.
Sir, we are knowing so many things from you, such a good things, such a good words, and you are full of motivation, you are full of positivity, you are so optimistic person. This is that one key I could understand of being very much firm, determined, and with the man of principles. Now, one more thing, sir, wanted to know that economy inevitably exposed to the chronic and the crisis, disasters, or pandemic. What exactly the fluctuation directly affects the life of the general people, as in country they are essentially, basically if I talk about those countries, those who have been essentially relying on the natural resources. And let me to add on before you answer this, the state of Qatar is one of those countries where the fluctuation wave did never ever result into undesirable consequences. We are talking about the other countries.
Yeah. No, it's challenging times for the world, as you know. I'm a firm believer that global economics, leave alone this crisis stopped up from December. So I've been telling around the world, even after 10 years of financial crisis, the world economy is not fixed. We thought it in 2008, liquidity crisis moved into funding moved into solvency and sovereign issue. And in September, as good as I wrote an article in the local newspaper as well as in television, I said it is the fourth phase of the financial crisis, and there is a meltdown view, because what the G7 has become G8 and G8 becomes G20. Global economists and bankers, they got together and designed a solution, but not executed. So in the process, the world was reeling under pressure. Anyway, add to that is this coronavirus, which is extraordinary pandemic, which is now creating so much impact in the overall global growth. It's going to be technically recession now, and the world economies are going to have downward revision in terms of their productivity and performance. In fact, there is a possibility of contraction, because that's the impact across the globe. It started in China, now it transcended borders. Now it has impacted the global economy in total terms, right? From Australia to America, every single possible country has been impacted. The numbers are alarming. And we all hope very soon it settles down with social distancing, social curfewing and quarantining people, and ensuring there are precautions as suggested by World Health Organizations are put in place. Countries and continents can recover by possibly by May end. If it happens, then still this year is going to be a recession. It means there is a possibility of a negative growth in global terms. So some of the countries like China may escape a bit of positive reflection. India can do around 3 to 4%. So again, it's positive. But the world economy is going to be underwater. And that's what it is. So it is challenging. As far as Qatar is concerned, Qatar's national vision to have 2030 has been well built in terms of economic development, human development, social development, and environment development. And Qatar as an economy is a commodity-driven economy. And oil, gas, and petrochemical is what we produce, and it has been exported around the world as second largest exporter, and these are long-term contracts. So we will hold ourselves. Qatar will sustain, but it will go through huge pressure in terms of the overall revenues as well as the expenditure in real order. So it is going to be challenging for everyone. Every single sector has been impacted, except the medical or food supply. Rest of the healthcare and food industry is holding good, but that's necessity. But if you look at travel industry, tourism industry, and again, every part of the world today is getting impacted because of the standstill operation, because the globe is not moving, it stands still. That is going to create so much compulsions for us to redefine the business model into digital advantage. At the same time, this is going to take a long time to recover in global terms.
Long time to recover.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you as a person been taking down bluntly, and what is going to be the prerequisites to urge the investors, keeping in view that FIFA also we are having 2020. How do you satisfy the investors in the frame of economic stability?
Well, coronavirus's impact on oil, we have seen the oil price going down, hydrocarbon segments in the near term, and the markets have fallen. But Qatar is not only oil and gas, it's non-hydrocarbon is also growing. As you rightly said, FIFA is coming up at 2022. Qatar is committed for the huge urban development, airport, seaport, road, rail. A huge amount of non-oil growth is happening, and that is a good sign. And even the hydrocarbon side, there are emerging markets which requires energy security, whether it's India, Bangladesh, or Pakistan, or China, or Vietnam. They're all buying LNG now, more and more, because it's energy efficient, environment friendly. So Qatar's economics should hold, even the medium and long term. That's the positivity of it. But we live in an interconnected world, as I said. The regional reflection will go through tougher times, and wherever we have economic linkage, if these economies are in trouble, the investments will be in trouble, and a lot of businessmen are going to go through a liquidity issue. And the Qatar government has taken a few decisions which are interesting, because they are pumping around $20.5 billion, that is almost 75 billion Qatar riyal. They are supporting the affected sectors with 6 months postponement of the installment as well as the interest for the banks. And they're also going to give additional funding for the affected sectors, and wage workers are, the WSP, what you call wage payment systems. If you look at it, those companies are also being funded by Qatar Development Bank. So there are financial injections to see that liquidity is not going to be trouble, and affected industries will be supported in terms of their, the overall stability. Those initiatives are going to help. But meanwhile, we have to see that business is not normal. It's new normal. It means we have to change the business model. We have to, slow down a bit in terms of the current the flow of activities, and ensure there is a sustainable momentum. And once the market recovers, the global economy recovers, we can catch up and see that we can bring in normalcy. That's going to be, again, medium term. Not short term, we all have to go through the pain.
Very correct, very correct. And sir, in today's this world, and let's talk about this COVID-19, the present wax, what kind of support banks are extending in terms of liquidity to the normal people or the services?
As I said, the one is His Highness immediate decree, which has come, which is very consolation. The The amount has been mentioned, 75 billion. The banks have been given over 50 billion, and the Qatar stock market has been allocated some. Qatar Development Bank has been, that is the Apex Bank, developing the projects and supporting the entrepreneurship, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. So they are going to have their own allocation. So all these things are enablers for us to see through. Liquidity is fixed. The criteria is defined. The banks will submit the requirements to the central bank, that is Apex Bank. They are the regulators, and we will get the liquidity at 0% interest from the central bank, and then we start deferring the interest, deferring the installments, and at times concessional lending as well. Those are being planned now. We are in the process of administering this. This is going to help the local businessman.
Much appreciated.
So it's all coming up. This should stabilize the market in terms of overall liquidity.
Wow, that's very much appreciated. And sir, which global trend will you think will shape the world economy in the next 10 years?
So it's
now
global trend, if you ask me, it's now economic nationalization is what the trend now, number one. Number two, digitization. It's all going to be a digital world. We have to understand it's global citizenship, as I said, it's one world. So at the same time, we all have to move through a digital world. So exponential growth is possible only if you believe in digital governance. Digital governance means it's e-governance, e-business modeling, and a paperless economy, and ensuring sustainable values become in. It means the individuals are becoming institutions. Global citizenship, every individual, people are empowered. People are given citizenship in terms of, journalism. People are given right kind of authority and responsibility by their own value creation. Social media and the market momentum today is all converging on a digital governance. So that's the people power.
Wow.
That's the first trend. And second trend, as I said, is the economic nationalization. And third trend is consumerism. The whole world today is now consumer-centric, and that is going to redefine the more and more innovation, and the way our quality of life will change. In order to achieve that, you have to have gross welfare to the mass. It means the policymakers, has to design to satisfy every single individual. It's not only institutions or big corporates. You have to have income inequality has to be reduced. You have to necessarily make sure, at the beginning I mentioned to you, global warming and climate change. I use the word economics, convergence of ecology and economics. That will have serious impact in your economic momentum. If you are not taking care of the economics as well as economics, that will destroy your basic fabric. So we
that's
have to
going to be the
understand,
biggest challenge, Natai.
Yeah, that is becoming a bigger challenge. We also have to necessarily make sure our natural resources are protected. Deforestation should be, arrested, and forestation. We have to plant trees. We have to culminate more and more positivity in terms of carbon emission, carbon neutral society we have to create, and we have to necessarily make sure that the peace and justice by legal governance, that is again not in the discretionary form, but rule-based legal system has to come in through digital values, and the communication gap has to be reduced in terms of discretionary elements. More and more we reduce income inequality between the haves and have-nots, make the middle-class people, into account, and ensure elimination of poverty comes in. We will create a better world. More importantly is to create, a normal, average people self-sufficient. Once you start eliminating, hunger and poverty, you create better values. And that's the kind of trend we are seeing around the world. That's the kind of economics we are seeing. And the banking side will also have to converge. Banking is a subset of economy. Why I'm giving you the big backdrop is to recognize this is the background on which you have to build your economic fundamentals. A country has to design. Once the country designs its priorities, the national vision has been set in for sustainability. The rest of the pillars can be achieved, including banking, you see.
Wow, that's great. That's great. There's a one question, and it's going to be last question. I know we are running off time, and so do you. Also very busy, despite of your occupancies. You have given us so much time. We are really in debt, and I don't know how much kind of elation I've been facing sitting and talking to you. My last question, sir, to you is: mistake in terms of finance to give enough space to rectify in your profession.
Say it again. The question.
Mistake in terms of finance to give enough space to rectify in your profession.
Absolutely. See.
With your position. This is add-on.
See, most important thing, as I said, if you are conscious of your integrity, there is no error of judgment. But mistakes can happen as long as it's not willful. See, we are in a risk integration. Banking, whether it is economics or banking, you understand, lending or investments, it's the risk integration. Whatever you do, there is an element of risk, whether you lend or invest. But mistakes, if it is willful, the accountability lies with you. There is no option. You are a public servant. Banking, if you understand the dynamics of banking, it is a public accountability. And as long as the error of judgment is circumstantial, you can account it. If it is willful, if you compromise on your code, if your ethics or governance or lack of transparency, then you are accountable. So the mistakes is a mistake as long as it is not willful. Otherwise, if it is an error of judgment in terms of market dynamics, there is always bound to be in a changing dynamics like this. For example, the dynamics of global economics, regional economics has impaired the market space. So sometimes your lending or investments can go wrong. Similarly, when there are challenges in terms of political dynamics, whether it is blockade or otherwise, you will have a changing dynamics in terms of model. So mistakes can happen. So the most important thing is you have complete governance, transparency and ethics in your business modeling. Then everything can be reassured. Your integrity and consciousness will stand, and your purpose behind your profession becomes more meaningful, productive, and positive. And that's what matters when it comes to commitment and social responsibility.
So that's what you are saying, that rectification is always there through transparency.
Yes.
That's very
true. Transparency is a better perspective. Everything is interesting as long as you are honest, hardworking, committed, transparent, conscious. There is no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute for consciousness. Once you integrate your heart and mind and you take ethical governance as a prime master class for you, you govern self first and you create better society and better institutions in corporate terms.
Wow, that sounds so great and so great. इसी के साथ बने रहिए आप हमारे साथ. प्रोग्राम जारी है सैटरडे ब्रंच. मिलते हैं शॉर्ट ब्रेक के बाद. वेलकम बैक. प्रोग्राम जारी है सैटरडे ब्रंच नाज़िया अहमद के साथ FM 107 पे. और साथ ही हमारे साथ जो गेस्ट हैं उनको अब वक्त है अलविदा कहने का, उनसे लास्ट में बात करने का, और उनसे बात करें, उनसे लास्ट में एक मैसेज लें आप सभी खास लिसनर्स के लिए. उससे पहले हम कहेंगे सर हेलो. Yes sir. So it's now really a time that we don't want to say a bye to you, but we know your occupancies and you have given us so much of time. Thank you so very much for this once again.
It's my delight, and I wish the audience very well. Everything will be all right. Yeah.
Yes, and before to perorate it, we would like to extend tons of wishes to him, to one who stands to attain and accomplish the query with pragmatic of being virtuous. It's for you, and we are extremely, extremely exhilarated to pronounce that you are having your birthday today.
That's right, Nazia.
Many, many happy wishes. So what's your plan today? And do I refrain asking you, your turn down today? At what age? I think I'm going to skip this.
Better.
Instead of this, I'm going to ask you, sir, what are your plans today for this thing? And first of all, lots of wishes. May you flourish in your life likewise.
I'm digitally connected with all my friends and relatives today. That's going to be a joy. Virtual celebration because of the current circumstances. So we're going to have a birthday celebration tonight. So my family now in different pockets of the world. My first daughter is working for a bank in Dubai, JP Morgan. The second one and my wife is in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother is in India.
Mm-hmm.
So it's global truly today, and my sister is in Canada. So we are going to have connectivity, and then we're going to celebrate tonight, and that's a virtual birthday celebration.
Wow, that sounds interesting. And it's also kind of appreciation to know that your family has been scattered and still you have been connected and you've been rooted. That's very good.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
because you have mentioned down everybody's name, right from your sister to mother to your daughters to your wife. That's
Correct.
really great.
Yeah.
And sir, now our last message to all the listeners of FM 107 before you
Sure,
leave.
sure. Let's have values and vision that will set you the right things for the right reason. And once you start recognizing the vision, set your goals. Setting and achieving a goal is vital to see through. That's the drive. That's the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Forming positive habits and character is subconscious, and it will come to you. The most important thing is to create interpersonal skills to be more pleasing, and a good self-esteem is a result of your positive attitude. Building a positive attitude and making sure success or failure doesn't matter, whether win or lose, whether you
Correct.
You recover or you fall. You have to necessarily make sure you bounce back to see that you are getting into the right direction, right approach. And every day is inspirational, every day is motivational, every day is interesting. Everything is exciting as long as we love humanity and we love the whole world. And everything is going to be interesting. We are going to be purposeful in this planet, and we add value to this planet and create a better world and better citizenship to this planet.
Very good, very good. That's a beautiful, beautiful message. With this note, we would like to extend a heartfelt thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you and to get to know you. This is going to be not enough for sure. हम चाहेंगे एक बार फिर आपसे हम ज़रूर बात करें, आपका वक्त लें, लेकिन आज के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर.
Thank you very much, Nazia, and the team one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do take care of yourself and best wishes to you once again. Good day.
Very kind. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.